The invitation arrived 3 weeks before the event. Embossed gold lettering on thick ivory cardstock. Margaret Hayes cordially invites you to celebrate 25 years of the Riverside Garden Club. My mother called the same day. Adrian, I'm hosting a party. June 15th. You should come. Not I'd love to see you. Not how have you been. Just an announcement. Should I? I asked. It would mean a lot to me. My friends will be there. I'd like them to meet my son. What she meant was, I'd like to prove I have a son, even if he's not the son I imagined. I was 29, and my mother had been quietly disappointed in me for most of my life. The disappointment began when I chose a state university instead of Harvard. It deepened when I majored in mathematics instead of law. It solidified when I moved into a small apartment in Queens instead of staying close to our Connecticut estate. I'll be there, I said. Now, standing in the marble foyer of my parents' shoreline mansion, I questioned that decision. Through the French doors, the garden glittered in the June sunlight. Designer dresses. Tailored blazers. Champagne flutes sparkling like crystal trophies. Well, look who decided to show up. My sister, Adrian Hayes, appeared beside me in a white linen dress that likely cost more than my monthly rent. You actually came, she said. Mom invited me. She invited you out of obligation. She scanned my khakis and navy button-down shirt. That's what you're wearing. What's wrong with it? If you're interviewing at a tax office, nothing. These are mother's closest friends. The Whitmores are here. The Kensingtons. Catherine Rothschild flew in from London. I'll try not to embarrass you. Too late. She leaned closer. And please don't mention your night job. It's humiliating enough that you work in janitorial services without announcing it to Greenwich Society. She walked away before I could respond. Outside, my mother spotted me instantly. Her smile was polished. Perfect. But it never reached her eyes. Everyone, she announced brightly, this is my son, Adrian. And just like that, the evaluation began. The circle around my mother turned toward me with polite curiosity. 8 of them. Pearls. Silk scarves. Perfectly rehearsed smiles. A distinguished man stepped forward first, extending his hand. Edward Whitmore. His handshake was firm, practiced, the kind built in boardrooms. And what do you do, Adrian? He asked. I manage investments. Before I could finish the sentence, my mother let out a light, nervous laugh. Oh, Adrian has always been modest, she interrupted smoothly. He works in facilities management. Mostly office buildings. Facilities management. A woman dripping in diamonds tilted her head. He cleans offices at night, Lillian added, appearing at my side with a champagne flute. It's flexible. Low stress. The interest vanished. It was almost impressive how quickly enthusiasm evaporated. Oh, someone said politely. How practical. The conversation shifted. Weather. Summer travel. Someone's daughter's engagement. I stood there for a moment longer before excusing myself. Near the pool house, away from the laughter and string quartet music, I pulled out my phone. 52 unread emails. 4 from Nathan Reed, my chief financial officer. 2 from legal. 1 marked urgent from Clara Bennett, my executive assistant. I answered the most critical first. Asian markets were volatile. Our London desk needed confirmation on a position adjustment. A sovereign fund wanted clarification about allocation caps. 20 minutes later, my mother found me. There you are, she said, slightly breathless. You can't just disappear. It looks rude. People think I'm a janitor, I replied calmly. I doubt they'll notice. Her jaw tightened. There's nothing wrong with honest work. No? There isn't. But you're ashamed of it. I'm not ashamed, she snapped. I just wish you had applied yourself more. I graduated with honors. And look where that got you. The words landed softly. Deliberately. Your sister went to Yale. She works at Goldman and Pierce. She makes $400,000 a year. I'm aware. At your age, your father had already made partner at his firm. My phone buzzed again. Text from Nathan, Bloomberg requesting comment. Q2 performance up 34%. Confirm statement. I silenced it. Are you even listening to me? My mother demanded. Every word, I said. I'm a disappointment. Lillian is perfect. Did I miss anything? She stared at me for a long moment. Then she straightened her shoulders. Come back to the party. Catherine wants to meet you. We walked back toward the terrace. At least 60 guests filled the garden now. Finance. Tech inherited wealth. And I was about to be introduced as the help. The terrace was louder now. More guests had arrived, the younger crowd from Manhattan, fresh from trading floors and tech offices. A woman in a lavender dress waved me over. I'm Catherine Rothschild, she said warmly. Your mother has told me so much about you. Has she? She mentioned you work unusual hours. Night shifts, yes. How fascinating. Her tone suggested it was not fascinating at all. It's steady work, she asked. Very steady. Well, that's important, she replied, smiling in the careful way adults smile at children showing crayon drawings. Your mother must be very proud. Across the terrace, Lillian was laughing with a cluster of junior bankers. I watched her casually mention her position at Goldman and Pierce. Watched them lean in, impressed. Your sister is delightful, Catherine continued. Such an accomplished young woman. I hear she's being considered for vice president. So I've heard. You must be proud. I am. What I didn't say, last quarter, she earned $400,000. Last quarter, I cleared $860 million. But who was counting? The afternoon dragged. Introduction after introduction. Same pattern. Curiosity. Clarification. Disinterest. By 4 o'clock, I was standing alone near the rose garden when my father approached. Charles Hayes looked older than I remembered. Grayer. More tired. Your mother's upset, he said without greeting. She thinks you are being antisocial. I am being ignored. There's a difference. He sighed. We only want what's best for you. What's best? Or what looks best? That's unfair. Is it? Mom just introduced me as a janitor to someone whose family name is on half the buildings in Manhattan. You do clean offices. I own them, Dad. He blinked. What? Nothing. Forget it. No, what did you mean? Before I could answer, someone called his name. He hesitated, then patted my shoulder. We'll talk later. Try to mingle. And maybe don't mention the night work. It's awkward. He walked away. My phone buzzed again. Clara, CNN requesting interview regarding fund performance. Serious media traction building. I typed back, not yet. Wait. Adrian Hayes. A voice behind me. I turned to see a man in his mid-30s. Expensive suit. Expensive watch. Aggressive confidence. Victor Langford. Summit Bridge Investments. We shook hands. I hear you're in facilities management, he said casually. Something like that. Interesting pivot. Most people in FM don't have math degrees. Where'd you study? State University. His interest flickered and died instantly. Ah? He started to leave, then paused. Actually, we are looking for a new cleaning service for our offices. Competitive rates. I don't think we are a good fit. Pity. He disappeared into the crowd. My phone rang. Not buzzed. Rang. Full volume. CNN main desk. And suddenly, the night was about to change. My phone continued ringing. Victor glanced back with mild curiosity before walking away. I answered calmly. Adrian Hayes. Mr. Hayes, this is Ryan Park from CNN Business. We are preparing to run a breaking news segment on Ironcrest Capital. As the founder and managing partner, we'd like your comment on this quarter's returns. My expression didn't change. Across the terrace, laughter continued. Glasses clinked. What specifically are you asking? I said evenly. Your fund returned 34% this quarter. Assets under management now stand at $12.6 billion. That makes you one of the youngest hedge fund managers in history to cross the 10 billion threshold. We are going live in 10 minutes. 10 minutes. I have no comment at this time, I replied. We are running it regardless. Courtesy call. I appreciate it. I ended the call. Behind me, a voice spoke softly. Was that a journalist? Lillian stood in the doorway of the garden room, her eyes narrowed. Yes. About what? My hedge fund. She laughed lightly. Good one. I'm not joking. Her smile faded. You run a hedge fund? Yes. How big? $12.6 billion. She stared at me. You're lying. I'm not. But you clean offices. I own office buildings. She blinked rapidly. What? 17 of them. Manhattan. Boston. D.C. Her face drained of color. You're serious? Yes. She grabbed her phone, fingers shaking as she typed. Ironcrest Capital founder Adrian Hayes. Her breath caught. Oh my God. She looked up at me like she was seeing a stranger. You're everywhere. Forbes. Financial Times. They call you the silent strategist. I shrugged slightly. I prefer privacy. You let us believe you were a janitor. I corrected Mom multiple times. She heard what she wanted to hear. Her phone buzzed. Then mine. Simultaneously. From inside the living room, a commotion rose. Raised voices. A television turning on. We both stepped toward the doorway. On the large screen inside the house, a red banner flashed, breaking news, mystery hedge fund founder revealed, and then my face filled the screen. The professional conference photo from last year. The party went silent. Ryan Park's voice echoed through the house. Adrian Hayes, the 29-year-old founder of Ironcrest Capital, has quietly built one of the most successful hedge funds in modern history. A champagne flute shattered on the terrace. My mother's hand was trembling. And every single guest was staring. No one moved. Not at first. The television light flickered across frozen faces, as Ryan Park continued, with $12.6 billion under management and record-breaking triple-digit performance over the past 3 years. Hayes has become one of the most closely watched figures in quantitative finance. The camera shifted to footage of a sleek glass tower in Manhattan's financial district. Ironcrest Capital operates from this building, where a team of 54 analysts and traders manage one of the most sought-after funds in the world. The fund is currently closed to new investors, with over 200 institutions on its waiting list. 200, someone whispered near the bar. My father had gone completely pale. Catherine Rothschild looked from the screen to my mother, confusion turning into stunned realization. That's your son? She asked quietly. Lillian stepped forward, voice clear enough for everyone to hear. Yes. That's our brother Adrian. The one who cleans offices. A few nervous laughs died quickly. Ryan Park continued, known for his extreme privacy, Hayes lives modestly in Queens and avoids media appearances. Industry insiders refer to him as the architect for his algorithmic strategies that have redefined risk modeling. Victor Langford from Summit Bridge Investments looked like he might collapse. The segment ended. Silence. 5 full seconds. Then chaos. Phones rang simultaneously across the terrace. Notifications exploded. Group chats lit up. I stepped outside into the open air. Adrian, my mother whispered. Her voice trembled. That was you. Yes. But you said you worked in facilities. I said I managed commercial properties. My father swallowed hard. 6 billion. As of today's close. Catherine stepped forward, demeanor completely transformed. Adrian, I had no idea. Rothschild Global has been trying to invest with Ironcrest for 3 years. You're number 42 on the waiting list, I replied calmly. Her eyes widened. You know our position. I know every fund on the list. Edward Whitmore pushed through the crowd. Adrian, I must apologize for earlier. Ashford Holdings would be very interested in discussing partnership opportunities. Victor followed quickly. Mr. Hayes, about what I said regarding cleaning services, you treated me like a janitor, I interrupted evenly. Now you're treating me differently. That tells me everything. His face flushed crimson. Where an hour ago I had been invisible, now I was surrounded. Apologies. Compliments. Networking attempts. It was suffocating. Excuse me, I said quietly. I turned toward the house. Toward the exit. I moved through the crowd slowly. Hands reached for me. Voices overlapped. Adrian, we should have lunch, perhaps a small allocation, my son works in venture capital, it felt transactional. Every word. Every smile. Lillian caught my arm in the foyer. You can't leave, she whispered urgently. Mom is in shock. Dad looks like he might pass out. That's not my responsibility. She tightened her grip. I'm sorry. The words were quiet now. No audience. No performance. 4 years, she continued, I treated you like you were beneath me. I bragged about my salary. I looked down on you. I thought I was winning. It was never a competition, I said. Yes, it was. Mom and Dad made it one. I just played along. Her eyes were glassy. You make more in a month than I'll make in my entire career. That's not the point. Then what is? The point is how you treat people when you think they have nothing to offer you. She let go of my arm. Outside, my phone would not stop vibrating. Journalists. Investors. Analysts. I need to go, I said. Tokyo opens in 2 hours. You're really leaving? Yes. I walked down the long driveway toward my car, a 5-year-old Honda Civic parked between Mercedes, BMWs, and Teslas. As I pulled away, I saw them still gathered on the terrace, staring. Not at the mansion. At me. The drive back to Queens was quiet. By the time I reached my small studio apartment, 900 square feet, narrow kitchen, single bedroom, the financial world was fully awake. I made pasta. Simple. Routine. My phone lit up again. Mom, please call me. Dad, son, we need to talk. Lillian, you're trending. Hashtag architect revealed. I ignored them and opened my laptop. 3 monitors. Bloomberg terminal glowing. Markets in Asia were volatile. A currency hedge needed adjusting. Work first. Around midnight, there was a knock at my door. I checked the peephole. Lillian. Still in her white linen dress. Makeup slightly smudged. Pride gone. I opened the door. She stepped inside and looked around. This is really where you live? Yes. But you manage $6 billion. I gestured toward my screens. This is what matters. She sat down slowly. Mom's apologizing to everyone for not knowing her own son. That's unfortunate. She looked at me carefully. Why didn't you tell us? Because I didn't need you to validate me. The room was quiet except for market alerts chiming softly. And for the first time in years, she didn't know what to say. Lillian sat on my second-hand couch, looking completely out of place in my small apartment. You really don't care what they think, do you? She asked quietly. I care what people earn, I replied. Not what they assume. She studied the room again, the 3 monitors, the books on quantitative finance, the absence of anything flashy. You could live anywhere, she said. Penthouse in Manhattan. Private driver. Anything. I could, I agreed. But that wouldn't change who I am. She hesitated. We treated you terribly. Yes. And you just let us. I didn't let you. I just didn't need to correct you. She swallowed. Have we lost your respect? I considered the question carefully. Respect isn't automatic. It's built. It can be rebuilt. How? Treat me the same way you would have if that CNN segment never aired. She gave a faint, sad smile. That's going to be hard. It shouldn't be. Her phone buzzed. Mine followed. Financial alerts. Media requests. My mother's name flashed again. Lillian stood up. For what it's worth, she said softly, I'm proud of you. Not because of the money. Because you built something real. Thank you. After she left, I returned to my screens. Tokyo markets were opening. A pattern I'd been tracking for weeks was finally forming. I adjusted 3 positions, hedged against currency exposure, recalibrated risk. By morning, those moves would generate $48 million in profit. But that wasn't why I did it. I did it because the puzzle mattered. Because finding order inside chaos was satisfying. Because building something precise, something intelligent, was enough. Near midnight, another message came through. Mom, your father and I would like to take you to dinner. Please. I stared at it for a long time. Then I replied, Saturday. The diner near my apartment. 7 p.m. Not somewhere expensive. Just me. There was a long pause. Then, just you. I promise. I set my phone down and looked out the window at the Queen's skyline. Not glamorous. Not impressive. Just real. Somewhere across the city, my parents were probably rethinking years of assumptions. But money doesn't fix perspective. Only reflection does. The markets moved. Numbers shifted. And I did what I had always done. I focused on the work. Because in the end, reputation fades. Noise fades. Even applause fades. But discipline. Discipline compounds. Just like everything else.